welcome to my diary, beloved. I'm Tatami, and today we are going to look at some of my works in progress that I'm doing with my quilting. And I'm just going to do that for fun before I dedicate the rest of my afternoon to something like no one asked me to do. There's a notorious cultural appropriator in the African traditional religious community. She's just a habitual line stepper. This white lady is just not even just a line stepper, like not just someone who pompously crosses the line. She like two steps over the line and spits on it on her way over. Like, this lady has zero respect. And I found one of her articles and it just kind of sent me into this downward spiral of research to prove her wrong. So I'm like in this crazy like headspin of looking at some of the most like racist material I've ever looked at. Of course, if you looked into Black history, at some Black American history at certain points, you're just going to find some of the most depraved shit you've ever seen. And I compiled all of it into a document, and I'm about to go through it and write my own article on it. But I thought I'd do something fun before then. That's actually something I want to do and I'm dedicated to. So, first of all, I'm really excited. This isn't even on... It's not on my, what are these called? Embroidery hoops. It's not even on my hoop yet. I'm not even appliquing it yet. But I did get a message recently from a museum asking for me to sell them one of my quilts to be part of one of their permanent collections. And I'm just really excited about that. I just think that's really cool because I prayed about that like last year. I said that I really would love for one of my quilts to end up in a museum, and that would just make me feel more, like a real artist. If I were to like die, I would have had a quilt just in a museum somewhere. I don't care if it's a big museum, a small museum. I just think it would be cool if a museum bought one of my quilts. So it's really cool that I just got this message. They want me to remake one of my quilts, the Big Mama's Kitchen quilt. And that's awesome because I've actually drawn several of that series in my little notebook that I would love to put to fabric someday. So the other thing that I worked on recently, there's too much fluff in here. She's looking a lot more like a body pillow and less like a wall hanging, which is what I intended. But this is Yamaya on Westcliff, Santa Cruz. There's a lot of these natural bridges. Natural Bridges is a national park right near Westcliff. Like, you just keep driving up and you'll hit it. But there are other natural bridges like this, these little archways of rock that just form. And this one is on Westcliff, and it just has all this greenery with flowers growing over it. So that's really what I represented here. And then that's Yamaya, the goddess. She's dancing kind of in the ocean, but on the beach. And, in some traditions that worship her, people do dress as her and go into the ocean for the rituals. So that could be her. It could be someone dressed as her. That's just kind of what I'm doing there. So then this other thing that I'm doing, I drew a picture of a black man. What is it called? Mining for gold, when they would go into the rivers. And the reason that I was inspired to make this, partially it came from the fact that like there's quite a few Black people in California history where if you like look up their origins, it randomly came from the gold rush. And I've always found that really interesting because I've always had a very negative connotation with the gold rush. I always thought it was really like it just like a free-for-all, just a rape of the land. It never impressed me as a kid. Even when we would do, like, I don't know, if you're a California kid, maybe you also went on a field trip where you guys mined for gold. It just didn't impress me like that. I was like, you guys just put a bunch of gold into this thing, and then we all, oh, wow, I found gold. Let me put it into my little vial and take it home. Like, even in the 4th grade, I appreciated that it was a field trip, but I still felt like it was just not as cool as they were trying to make it seem, like a bunch of just smelly people going into native land and stealing gold for their fortune. But I've come to understand that there is like a powerful history there, wherein a lot of enslaved people saw, like, and it was mostly men who were dragged over here to help mine for gold and pan for gold. They saw it as a way out, and they did. They bought their freedom. Some of them even managed to buy their family members. Some of them didn't. They only ever managed to buy themselves. And it's just a crazy history where you have to appreciate the fact that they saw an opportunity and grabbed it. And that's really what this piece is going to be about. So the pink is the sky. We've got the California hills, and then over on this side is going to be the man, and I'm going to have some gold and brown beads that I'm going to sew into his pan for him to have. So I'm really excited about that piece. That actually, I decided to finally do the picture that I drew originally, because one of my friends has said that she's trying to hire me as one of the artists in Santa Cruz. They do they started last year an annual ofrenda down by the clock tower, and so they build on each of the 4 walls of the clock tower a different altar to represent a different community. So I'm thankfully going to be able to be a part of the African American one, and I'm hoping I'll be able to get some local Black teens to come help and pass on the culture, pass on the understanding, the knowledge, and the ritual of building an altar and upkeeping one. It's supposed to stay up until the rains of the season, so it should be up there through October, which I'm really excited about. And I'm hoping to put up some of this art, either maybe Maya in Santa Cruz. Oh, I forgot to show you the back. I appliqued some fish. If you can see, it's not really white in the background because I tried to dye it with onion dye. Don't waste your time. These YouTube videos got you wasting your damn time. I pulled out my dye, and it was a beautiful bright purple, washed it, and it was this gosh dang yellow, and then the dark purple parts were brown stain looking. Like, I had to paint it. I had to bust out the fabric paints to save this project, and that was that. So at any rate, maybe I'll use this one. I'll probably end up using this one, hopefully put it in a frame, and just be able to put some of my art onto that space. And then, oh, I can't even show you because I didn't bring it over here. This next part has nothing to do with quilting. I have these little Madonna figurines that I've made, and there's the mold, but I don't have any of them just sitting here. Anyways, I managed to screw into the top of one of their heads a little thing, like a hook, so I can make her into a necklace, a rosary, a hoodoo rosary, which are really important for us because we've really struggled to have our prayers be passed down. A lot of people are converting away from Abrahamic religion, Christian religion. I know that there's like a lot of like Islam Brotherhood, you know, type of stuff in the Black community, but a lot of people are just kind of going back to their indigenous spiritualities. A lot of people are like, it's me, the ancestors, and spirit, that's it. And that's kind of like what I've been catering to, is the people who are trying to learn that history, who are trying to uplift it. Because one of the cool things that a lot of people are seeing is it's like, when the ancestors are who inspire you spiritually, you never run out. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, okay, so this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like invoke beauty. I'm trying to channel, you know, charisma or whatever. There's an ancestor for that. Or you're trying to be brave. You're trying to like fight the good fight. There's ancestors who did that, and you can really be inspired by a lot of their stories. And I think that that's just a really powerful thing. But at any rate, I have my La Madama figurines made from some Aunt Jemima figurines that I like cast iron figurines that I invested in. It's wild how people be selling like Black Americana history for just up the ass, like up the ass. It's so wild. None of us can actually afford our own history, and what little we can, we're getting like bit by bit, fight by fight. That's how I feel. The only ones I have, it's like by tooth and by nail, I've got these figurines now. And I've just like, I've found it so refreshing to be able to reclaim Aunt Jemima imagery. And actually that's what I'm about to go debunk, is some just foolishness. This woman is really out here trying to reclaim the word mammy, and it's just got me in a headspace that is like, I swear to God, if I ever go into some white person's home and see a mammy figurine on their fucking altar, like they are still working that imagery of a Black ancestor serving their white family and just so happy to do so. Like, it's spiritual warfare. Like, I know a lot of people on the left don't quite understand that. They understand class warfare, but they don't understand the actual spiritual warfare that has been waged against Native, Indigenous, tribal people worldwide. Specifically, they're doing it on purpose, and they're doing it for a reason, because it really does cut to the core culturally and emotionally of who people are. And I'm just like, I was stunned. I was really stunned to read that article and see her be so pompous and so wrong, like so proud and so wrong. It really blew my mind. But at any rate, here's to my projects. I'm really excited for this one. I kind of wish I was already past the part where I put him on here, and I was already to the part where I'm sewing the little gold beads, because I can just see that part so perfectly in my head. But you know what? It's the process, and I still haven't even chosen the fabric for his skin color yet. So I need to stop trying to skip steps and just focus. What else am I working on? Oh, I do have plans to make another mold for a figurine that it's called the Akuaba, I believe is what it's called. I can't even remember. But essentially that one is also for good luck, for fertility, for abundance. And it's just been really refreshing to be able to offer to sell those, because everyone else who's selling them is not African, is not actually of that religion, is not actually of the people or donating to the people. And that's really hard. It's really hard to always be putting your money towards these people, and to see other people putting their money towards these people, and to know that fundamentally these people are waging spiritual and class warfare against us, but yet we have to pay them to get any kind of symbolism that is of our people. Like I said, it's gatekept. It's gatekept in so many ways. So I don't know. It does feel, I don't like selling the figurines. I don't quite like making things out of resin. But I do like it, because I like having a way to reclaim my power. There is a way. And what's also cool is originally I did learn about some of these products on Amazon, but all I had to do was, once I found the products, I went onto the site of the people who make this stuff, and lo and behold, they have distributors. So I was able to easily find a distributor in San Francisco who ships to me, and within days, it's right at my house from these distributors, and Amazon never got a cut. And that just makes me just so happy. Fuck Bezos. And I'm really glad that I was able to find a way around him. And it's such a better deal too. That's the other part. On Amazon, they're selling like a sample size for $37. And on the distributor site, they sell a gallon for $80, $90. So you literally get like 4 or 5 times the amount of product for way less. I mean, with Amazon, you do get the guarantee of like 2 days or whatever, but you can't get the same deal. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying, Amazon's grift, it's a good one, but fuck it. I'm not falling for it no more. All right, cheers to you. Thank you for watching. May your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads, and I will see you next time.